What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It's a lot of controversy going on. I'm actually waiting for my order over here at Shake Shack in downtown Detroit. It's a lot of controversy going on right now because the latest news is that Bronny James suffered cardiac arrest. I actually got the news while I was having a conversation with somebody on the Millionaire Morning Show. And the news was Bronny James allegedly had cardiac arrest while he was on the practice court for USC. And that, you know, his younger brother recently posted on Instagram the heart emoji next to him. He's in good spirits. He's great. Everything is good. And we always want the best, especially for the good families. It's one thing for it to happen for somebody that's out here fucking around doing some dumb shit, always caught up in some stuff. But for somebody like a LeBron James, who in my personal opinion is the GOAT, not from a basketball perspective, but all encompassing in that he's never got caught up in anything messed up. His family unit is great. I don't necessarily agree with his politics, but that's personal preference. But his wife is absolutely phenomenal. And it seems like he's a great, great father, and that he's an example of what he would want his kids to be when they grow up. Awesome. Everything is absolutely awesome, right? And so when things like this happen, for somebody like me that looks at it from a father's perspective, my biggest thing is I would never want this to happen to somebody like my daughter, right? And so we always are passionate. What we do every single day is always based off of how it is that we affect the people that surround us, including our children. And so first and foremost, let me say prayers up. Second thing is, as soon as I started reporting on it, the first thing that everybody said inside of the Millionaire Morning Show, because I pay attention to the chat and I interact with the chat on a regular basis, the first thing that everybody starts saying is the jab. The jab, the jab, the jab, the jab, the jab. It got to be because of the jab. Now, we don't even know if LeBron's kids, first and foremost, even took the jab. We have no clue whatsoever. But that carried on. And then I realized that that sentiment is also a reflection of what the general population is saying, especially somebody like Elon Musk. It is largely reported that Elon Musk was having conversations and warnings about the jab. Now that LeBron James' son allegedly is in cardiac arrest, or was in cardiac arrest, and he's doing better now, that's what the reports say. Elon Musk was using this as an opportunity in order to warn against the jab, right? Now, I don't tell anybody what to do, and I don't tell anybody that they should or shouldn't. The one thing that I absolutely hated during the pandemic, or when we was coming out of the pandemic, was everybody was telling everybody that they had to get it, and it was forcing people to get it, and then employers was requiring people to get it in order for people to exist, in order for you to travel to certain states, such as New York at that particular time. They was talking about how you had to get the jab. And that pissed me off. It absolutely pissed me off, because that really is affecting your freedoms. You know what I'm saying? That's affecting how it is that we're able to choose, how we can provide for our families. And it was really bullying people into saying, hey, you got to be this test dummy. You got to be this experimental test dummy in order to be able to operate, right? The other side of it is that when people wanted to make an informed decision, and they did whatever research that they can do, and that they choose to take it, the other side of it is that I don't like the fact that everybody else was having a conversation and bullying them about whether or not they should have or shouldn't have took it in the first place, because that's a personal decision. You know what I'm saying? And so on the flip side, you got the people that was adamant about not taking it, and they didn't want their financial resources to be affected as a result of it. Understandable. And on the other side, you got people that did want to take it because they wanted to protect themselves based off of what they thought that they knew, or what they knew based off of their own informed decision. And so they decided to take it on the other side. In both situations, any extremity in either one is egregious, because you shouldn't be able to have an opinion on what somebody does in their personal life. I don't like the idea of bullying people and that they should get it. I don't like the idea of bullying people and that they shouldn't have got it. Either way, it's egregious. And then that all leads us to this today. It's all speculation based off of what we thought he took. It's the same thing with Jamie Foxx. Nobody knows unless he discloses his own medical information or his own personal perspective about what it is that he did with his own health. And that's up to him. The only person that should be responsible for what is going on with Bronny James and the decisions that come along with whether or not he took it or not is LeBron and his mother. Everybody else, you need to wait until the information, or unless they release additional information, to determine whether or not that's happening. Because now anything health related, whether you young or you old, if anything happens to somebody, because we're all conspiracy theorists, it automatically ties to, oh man, it's the government's fault. Oh man, it's the jab. And it may be, I don't know. But I'd like to personally, especially as a person with a platform, to try to let more information come out so that we can make an informed decision rather than automatically jump to conclusions and align it with being a jab. With that being said, again, I think that LeBron James is a model of perfection of what it comes, living a life in a public spotlight, taking care of business, being a reflection of what we would want our sons and daughters to be as far as put together schools, giving back to his community, delivering on his promises, and also not getting caught up in anything. LeBron James, in my opinion, is what Kobe Bryant was supposed to be before he got falsely accused of messing with that chick and getting caught up with her or whatever, right? But in a general sense, I think that we should all be more focused on praying for his wellness and his well-being, rather than getting caught up in the idea of whether or not he took the jab. First, we got to make sure that people are okay. And then you start having a conversation of whether or not, you know what, let me go back out here really quickly because my stuff ain't ready yet. And then we got to start having a conversation of what could have happened based off of the information that is released to the general public. I don't know where we got off not being concerned about his well-being before we start speculating about what happened to him. The first rule of business is that we always got to make sure that the person is all right. And then once you realize that the person is all right, then you start having conversations about what happened. I'm okay with having conversations about what happened, but I'm not okay with not praying for him and his family before we start to have those conversations in the first place. It comes off as being insensitive. I can't believe I'm saying this. And it comes off as a little bit of bullying, right? We don't know. And so to force people to have to answer the things that we don't even think that we should require ourselves to have to answer publicly as far as our health and our medical records is stupid in my opinion. But I'm curious as to what y'all think. Do y'all think that people are being insensitive and that they're bullying other people when they're having conversations about what they should and shouldn't do based off of information that they don't know? And are we also being insensitive and not praying for Bronny James prior to getting the full scope and the information based off of what's been released to the public, what's being released to the family? And should we be more concerned with his health and him praying for him? Or should we be putting on our tinfoil hats and making sure that the government don't infiltrate into our lives? I'm curious as to what y'all think. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace, man.